Extra Emily. Hey, it's Katie Lynn. You've seen me in your chat, and I've just really enjoyed your energy, and I wanted to do this for you. What is this? This is your human design chart. This is really your energetic blueprints and how you say your yes and no in the world, ultimately allowing your purpose to flow through you without having to get your brain involved of all the things that you need to do. So I really wanted to check to see what made you extra. And the first thing that I actually noticed in your chart is this. This line here is called the channel of charisma, a design where thoughts must become deeds. And you're just such a busy, powerful person. And I bet your mind goes. And I bet you feel like you need to act on a lot of those things that go through your mind. And that's where that comes from. So a busy person, people might perceive you as busy. But yes, I love it because I do see you as this charismatic and busy person. You got your little hearts going, you got your little dances going. But what does everything else in your chart mean? Well, firstly, let's go over to the right here. You are a manifesting generator, and you have the capability of really allowing the proper timing for you to get things done. Not when other people want you to get things done, because surely people aren't going to move you. But when you eventually do get to moving, I bet things get done quite quickly and efficiently. But maybe sometimes you skip steps and you might end up being frustrated and having to go back and doing them again. Go back and end up doing them again. As a manifesting generator, you are a person who has this vortex-like energy that just attracts people, places, things, and experiences towards you in life. And this is one of those experiences. You didn't ask for it, it just happened. And it is for you to decide if this is something that you want to partake in or not. Now, if we're going to be talking about how do you say your yes and no, strategy and authority is always how the person says their yes and no. Honestly, I'm just trying to say things that don't have the word S because of my endearing lisp that you can hear right now. But now that it's come out in the open, let's just continue. So your strategy and authority is how you say your yes and no, whether you're talking to Extra Emily or we are talking to someone else. If you're saying your yes and no correctly for you, then you're going to allow your purpose to flow through you. Now, I don't know if this is your purpose because I don't have your time of birth. I actually don't know where you're born either. I'm just assuming you were born on the East Coast of the United States because you went to Columbia. That's just, yeah. So, I don't know your exact purpose in life because I don't know where you're born and I don't know your time of birth, but it's okay because we don't need any of that to just hop back over into your chart here. So, Extra Emily, what is all of those things in that chart over here? Well, all of these geometrical shapes are called centers, and all of the colored in ones, that is you and what you put out into the world consistently. And this is called definition or defined. The white ones or undefined or open, that's just inconsistent energy. It is you. It's not broken. Everybody has whiteness in their chart or openness in their chart or undefined stuff in their chart. It just is what it is. So the colored in stuff is consistent energy and the uncolored stuff is inconsistent energy. So that's why we end up making our decisions based on what is consistent in us and what we put out into the world. So, Extra Emily, I don't feel like hopping into that yes and no with you today to see where it leads you for your purpose because there's just too many variables that are unknown. So let's just talk about everything else in your chart. Extra Emily, you are a person that actually needs to be a little bit patient because there's no truth in the now. I bet that when you're in somebody else's presence and you make a commitment and you walk away because you're so excited you made that commitment, or you're super angry with them and you like quit with them, you're just like, oh, why did I do that? So it's always important for you to make decisions as yourself within your own being, out of other people's energies, out of their excitement. But yeah, you just need to be patient. You're very, like I said, there's no truth in the now for you. So allow time for yourself to make decisions. I said I wasn't going to go towards the decision making, but it's just very important for you to be patient. As I was saying, you have a fixed way of expressing who you are into the world with all of these defined centers. So over here, you have a fixed way of expressing who you are emotionally. You have a fixed way of growing your environment or the things around you. You have a fixed way of knowing when enough is enough. You understand what is healthy for you, whether it be people, places, things, or experiences. And you have a particular way in which you mutate or transform the things around you. So I'm going to synthesize that together. You are a person who understands exactly the correct timing for yourself because you have enough energy to transform what is correct for you. But you do need to take your time because there is no truth in the now. You only have enough energy to partake in what you have the energy to partake in. All right. I'm going to insert some jargon here. What actually makes these centers defined is that this little 30 color is here. This little 41 color is here. In that those two gates on each side is actually what makes these centers on each side defined. So yeah, if we look at all of the centers that are defined, we'll see that there's a line here, which is a channel, a line here, a channel, line here, a channel, and here. It all makes up who you are as well. Let's move into that. Who are you, ExtraEmily? Well, you are a person. This is a channel of recognition, a design of focused energy. Well, because you have most of this channel here, I bet that you are quite aware that you just want to start a lot of experiences just for the sake of wanting to start experiences. Are you good at finishing them though? That's a question to you. But yes, it's kind of like the recognition of feelings, but also the recognition that this is the beginning point of something, and there's really only enough energy to focus on one thing at a time. So if you have 18 things to do, set aside some time for those things. You want to do speed runs, 2 hours. You want to do all your Mario games, 14 hours, etc. So if you try to do them all at once, they're going to have a very watered down experience. So make sure that you're focusing on one thing at a time. And I'm sure you're very aware that you enjoy just starting experiences to start experiences for experience sake. You are also here to be recognized for your focused energy that you might have. This is a cute one here. The 3 to 60. And the thing is that this is a variable one. Why do I mean variable? It's just that I don't have your time of birth, but it sits within you most of the day because I took 3 different times of the day where you were born, and this one changes. So this here is the channel of mutation, energy which fluctuates and initiates. So it's on and it's off. What's cool about this gate here, or this channel, is that now that I see this, I really recognize this in you. See, like, I recognize you. Um, there are a lot of firsts that happen when you're around, and for you, it's just natural, but for others, it's just quite unusual because it's the first time that they're seeing it. So they might be like, whoa. Now, with this, though, I'm only going to mention it for this one. This particular one has a chance for melancholy where it just feels like emptiness or blondness or ugh. And you might have these thoughts of like, it's actually pretty clinical. So if you ever think like this, just make sure you go talk to your doctor about it. But, you know, same shit, different day. Nothing's ever going to change. Why would I even bother? So please, just know that as this channel states, it's an energy which fluctuates and initiates. So it pulses, it's on and it's off. So yeah, sometimes you might feel that melancholic experience, whether you're acting yourself or not, or you might not. The thing is, though, is that it's very, very, very mutative, individual. And the thing is that even though I'm going to go all spiritual and religious on you, and creation stories say that, you know, there was nothing and then there was something. And that's what it's like here. You know, you might feel those blah feelings and it might feel super uncomfortable. But there's nothing that you need to initiate or force because it's just the beginning of something so creative and so mutative. It sucks that the feeling exists, but yeah, just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there's going to be something new. All right. So you are a person that mutates. You're a very charismatic person who mutates, who's here to be recognized for their uniqueness, their individuality. Let's move over to this here. You may not recognize this within yourself because the redness here actually means that it's from this side. So you can see the 54 here, 32, etc. But it means that it's unconscious, meaning you might not be aware of it. But if you look at yourself over time, you might recognize it, or your friends close to you might recognize this about you. I recognize this, the meanings of this small gates together, but what is it? What does this mean? This means that this is the channel of transformation, a design of being driven. So this is ambition. This is talking about seeing who has a talent, but like you can smell who has the talent. For example, Julia Hart from the modeling agency, the Boss Babe, she has this as well, and you know she's the #1 modeling agency in the world because she smells who has the talent. She's ambitious enough to work with them to do so. And it's not about stepping over one another in order to get to the top or having sex with the boss to do so. It's about working to get there, about being the best. So you are a person who is here to transform. You're driven, you're ambitious, you're here to mutate. Have you recognized that you are a charismatic being? Who is going to be very inspirational for the tribe and the collective when you're just acting yourself. Just being your charismatic self as you mutate and be freaky. When you're an individual like yourself, I'm an individual, it kind of has this sentence that goes with it. Freak to genius. People see you as a freak until they recognize you as a genius. And I resonate with that deeply because I have a lot of individual energy. So right now, I'm the freak because people haven't recognized me as my genius for doing this yet. All right. Let's see this again. You're a person who is here to mutate and transform in a variety of ways. You are here to be your individualistic self as you are charismatically making sure that you take time to get your truth. Because then you'll be recognized as this ambitious person who does know when enough's enough, because you have the proper safety, security, communities around you, because you have understood when the proper timing is for you, for those things that need to be mutated and things that do need to be implemented. What's fun about this 20 here is that you have the capability of being like super in the now, even though there's no truth in the now. You hear things that other people don't hear. Like you're 4 rooms away and somehow you hear a whisper across the room because you're meant to be in that state. But yes, you are a very powerful being. And you are aware of that. You're very aware that you're a charismatic being. Now, because I don't have your time of birth, I can't go any further. Because I don't know where you live, I just assumed you were from the East Coast. This could be all wrong. But let's loop around. Why are we talking about human design? Because this is the only system that I've ever found where you are given how to say your yes and no, strategy and authority. And it ultimately allows your purpose to flow through you. And I just think it's fun. Because you're a freak like me, you might enjoy hearing about this stuff. So why do you see frustration? Well, your energy tells you when you're not doing you, and you end up frustrated. And those are key indicators that something needs to change, and I'd love to sit down and talk to you regarding this. How to use your yes and no so that there's less frustration in your life? That'd be great. But anyways, I digress. I really don't even know what that word means, but we could be talking about your energy for so long, but like I said, I just don't know anything about you. Your time of birth, or where you're from. Now I'm just rambling. Let's do a proper lead out. So yeah, my name is Katie Lynn, and this experience, just to understand a yes and no, is $50 US, but if you want your experience done like ExtraEmily, where you have everything done, it's $250. But once again, I didn't have her time of birth, where she was born. So I don't necessarily have the ability to go deep and further into this. So I really thank you for your time.